What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ralph, aka Mr. Literal, and I'm coming to y'all today with an extreme update slash podcast. I know it's been a minute since I've done it, but I want to talk about it on this episode. So pretty much what I've been going through is my experience with my CDL journey and how I've been with Prime. I try to leave out a lot of the stuff, but I do want to be transparent to my experience and just keep you guys updated. So what are we at now? This is September 30th that I'm recording this. This will be up on YouTube and Anchor. So Anchor, if you want to see how I look right now, which honestly ain't too bad, go on over to YouTube and YouTube. You're welcome. All right, so without further ado, let me start rambling and get into it. So my Prime experience, me coming into this from not knowing anything about trucks, uh, motor vehicles, nothing. I'm not a gearhead. I'm not a person like that. The experience was a whirlwind experience, at least for mine. My orientation was on a Wednesday, so I feel like my process was really short. So you come in, they register you, they put you in your hotel. You have to register, go do your CBTs, and you'll have your first day of truck simulation training. So throughout that, you have like I can't remember the exact amount, but there's a lot of CBTs you have to get done prior to you being able to test. So luckily for me, there was a big gap in between when I had to do my simulation class and other stuff. You have a lot of breaks for like the first 2 days. Again, my experiences is on a Wednesday. Coming in from a Wednesday, I heard different days are different experiences, so I'm just going based off mine. So I had a big gap in between, so I was able to do some. Then I had to do my simulation training, which was pretty cool. They put you in they put you in a little actual driver simulation truck. It's pretty cool. I asked a stupid question because the simulation for me was pretty easy. So I asked if you can crash, and the trainer said yes, yes you can. So he put it on like this snow simulation, and I flipped my truck. So be careful what you ask for, because you'll get it. So after that, after the class was over, I was able to do my CBTs. I had a couple to do the next day, but my test uh, wasn't until like later in the evening, so I was able to get everything done. I will say the staff was pretty nice. Everybody was pretty helpful. I ended up losing my wallet, and the security staff waded through like hours of video to help me find it. Eventually, we did, but that's just a testament to a positive that the staff really. Whenever you hear people from Prime say the staff is pretty helpful, they definitely are. I've had my fair share of issues too, which I'll get into a little bit later. But for the most part, Prime is extremely helpful, and at least from my experience, helping me through some stuff, answering a lot of questions I had, helping me find my wallet, because they didn't have to do that. Most places would just be like, well, you lost your wallet as USOL. But we went through hours of footage, calling the shuttles, seeing which one I was on to find it. We were able to find it, so that's a testament to that. So the next day, which was a Thursday, we did our simulation test. Uh, I was able to pass my test. I chronologed this all on my TikTok too. So follow me over there too, at Mr. Little on TikTok too. Shameless plug. Uh, we did a test, passed it. So the next day, when you pass your simulation test, you're able to upgrade to like having your green card. So you get your green card, and it's supposed to have like they give you like a weekly loan of $200. So here's where kind of like my first little issue came in. Um, they gave me my card, but it wasn't active. And they would say the first thing they said was, it takes a couple hours before you call and set it up. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. It's cool. I don't really understand, but it's fine. And they set me up with the trainer immediately. Like, so that Friday, when the money was supposed to hit, I ended up getting my trainer. Luckily, my trainer didn't. We didn't hit the road until like the next day, that Saturday. So it gave me time to fix it. And for a while, nobody knew what was going on because it was a Friday, and lots of people were out. And the people I really needed to talk to, I had no way of getting in contact with. So here's one of my, I guess, issues. You don't have a direct line to people sometimes. Like most of, at least in the Springfield place, you are at the campus end. Everybody's over at the campus end. That's where your orientation is. But you don't have, you have emails and messages, but you can't, if you don't have that number or stuff out handed, uh, you can't get in contact with people. And if they're not at the office, they're not going to answer the phone. And if you don't have the email, if you're missing something, you can't get in contact with anybody. You have to call like personnel and stuff like that. And that's where I'll give another positive. They were able to help me get connected, got me to the person I needed to talk to activate my card. My card was activated like right before I was able to get on the road. So this is me. I'm not entirely sure if this is how the process is supposed to go. That Friday, I think we were supposed to do like some pad training, like go to the pad and train and stuff. But I ended up going like straight out on the road. So I didn't have any time to study stuff because they give you like a sheet that you have to get ready for your actual CDL test, like memorize the parts of the truck, learn how to drive, all that stuff. So the driving stuff, you get that on the road. For PSD, you'll be doing most of the driving. Um, Not all, but the majority. And that's to get you ready for TNT, actually being on the road on your own or with the team, doing your part. And for me, it was a bit of a struggle because primarily we were driving at night. And I'm not that great at staying up at night because I haven't had to do that in a while. Like I'm an early riser, but I'm definitely not a night owl no more, especially driving. Uh, it was tough, but I was able to power through it. And my trainer is amazing. He was able to talk me through a lot of stuff, very thorough, very, encouraging. Definitely told me when I was doing wrong, but, you won't get any better if you constantly know what you're doing right. So, all in all, it was decent experience. So we were out on the road for about, I want to say we were out on the road for about a week and a half. We went from here, from Springfield to Mississippi, from Mississippi to North Carolina, from North Carolina to New Jersey, and we just ended up missing that hurricane and stuff. We just missed that. It looked like driving through it the day after looked like it was an apocalypse. Like cars were all on the highway, abandoned, flooding was still going on. So I just thank God that we had the kind of a delay, which I wasn't happy with at first because I was kind of like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I want to do this. But circumstances, we couldn't go. And thank God it did because we could have got caught in that. So, anywho, we went from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. Got a chance to drive through Philadelphia, so that's cool. Uh, then from Pennsylvania to Kentucky, then Kentucky back to Missouri. So we did a lot of driving. So it was a lot of driving, and I got a lot of experience from that. So again, that was a great experience. Um, so we got back, and this is kind of, well, I'll just speak personally. When we got back, we had to do pad training. So that's pretty much where you'll be getting like your backing maneuvers for the test done. You really don't get a chance to do it on the road because the test is going to be done at that specific place. So if you even back on the road, is nothing like doing it for the test because you have to do it a certain way for the test. When you back on the road, however you can get it in, you use your maneuvers, but however you can get in is how you get in. But the pad training was different. And with my trainer, we trained like at midnight. We trained from like midnight to 6 in the morning, which was okay because there was really nobody out there. But training at midnight for me was a struggle because like I said, I'm really not a night owl like that. But I just mentally I wasn't there. Like I was able to. Some nights I would do well, but then some nights I just would just bomb, and that's not anything on my trainer. He did the right thing by teaching me. It's just the way that my brain works. I can't always apply it the way someone tells me because if I had to think about something step by step, it won't work. And it was a struggle because like in order to get paid like an actual wage, you have to upgrade to TNT, which the pay is now $900 a week for TNT. For your PSD is just $200. It's just something really just to help y'all on the road. Don't really help with bills. which was a struggle because we went from a income household to a one, which bills was coming up, money was coming up. I needed to take my test. Originally, I wanted to. The dream scenario was I was taking my test on the 10th of September. That didn't happen because we ended up, again, we were on the road for like about a week and a half, and then we did the trainer for a week because my trainer, I wasn't showing that I was ready. My trainer just basically didn't think I was ready. But I had to say, like, look, I have to take this test. Like, I've been doing this for a week. Like, I know there's some times where I get it and then sometimes where I don't. I know I can do this. I didn't. He really wasn't even going to let me test. But I did well enough and showed him that I could test. So the day of the test, I knocked the test out. I'm going to brag on myself a little bit. I knocked that test out. I was nervous, but I knocked it out. So I was able to upgrade. The test wasn't for me. Wasn't I had a good tester, I would say. We just knocked out our maneuvers, did the drive, did the pre-trip stuff, which was cool. So I passed my test. So here's the other thing. This was probably just me being a I don't want to say ungrateful student, but maybe I may have pushed too. Well, I can't say I pushed too hard because I ended up passing the test. You, as a PSD student, don't determine when you get to take your test. That's up to your trainer to see if they're ready. So, just a word of caution for me. If you have issues and stuff at home, not issues like issues, but like, make sure your affairs are in order financially before you start this endeavor, because you're going to go a while without making an actual livable wage. So, Lord, through the grace of the Lord, we were able to be okay, but we were getting down to crunch time. So that put a little bit more pressure on me because, I had to become the head of the household, take care of the money and bills and stuff. So if you're going to do this, make sure you have your financials in order, because, again, you don't determine when you test. Your tester does. So if you're not doing well, your tester has every right to say, hey, I don't want to test you. You're not ready. You also have the right to say, hey, I think I am. You might have to request another tester, but that's a whole other process that I don't know about. You have that right to do it, but I don't know what that process is like. So again, the best advice I say when you start this endeavor, make sure you have your financials in order. So we left to do our TNT. We went to the West Coast, which, again, if you follow me on TikTok, I don't think I actually posted anything on TikTok about where I've been. But on Instagram, it's at Yep It's Rough. I'll put links and everything on YouTube and stuff. Anchor, go over to YouTube. I got to get some parody and stuff going in. But out on the West Coast, I was able to drive. Team driving is a lot better than PSD driving because you get to rest a little bit more, but the truck is constantly moving. Your team driving. So you'll drive an 11-hour shift, then your trainer will drive an 11-hour shift, and so on and so forth to get where you're going. We went on the West Coast this time. I had to come back now to do my sleep study to see if I have to have a breathing machine, which hopefully I don't. Like, I think I'm pretty healthy. Like, I think I snore, but I don't think I have any issue with sleep apnea or nothing like that. But all in all, I think Prime is definitely a great place to start at. And this is coming from someone with no driving experience, trucking experience whatsoever. The process has been hard, definitely, because I've been missing my family a lot. They've been missing me. Again, I'm not home. It's been really hard. There have been times where I just wanted to quit and come home because things weren't going right. Myself, I didn't believe in myself. Like, I just didn't think I could do it. My family needs me. Things are going on at home where you're not there and your family needs you. It is really, really hard to be away, especially if you haven't been away. So I would definitely say if you have family, they're going to be your greatest strength, of course, but they're also going to, be on your mind too. And I don't want to say be a hindrance, but they make sure that your family understands as best as their abilities, because it's easy to say, oh yeah, they understand, they know what it's like and stuff like that, but actually being gone and missing them is really, really hard. Like, I don't, it gets easier, but it never goes away. Like my wife and kids, like, I'm able to talk with them every day, so it's not as hard. and I send videos and stuff to say goodnight to them if I can't talk to them personally. If I'm on the road driving, I always send them whenever I had time before it's late at night. I send them goodnight videos. I'm able to talk to them. So your support system is going to mean a lot through this process because it's going to be hard. It's going to be mentally trying because you'll be going from sleeping in your bed every day to sleeping on a bunk bed, and the mattress itself is okay, but it's not your bed. It's going to be an adjustment. And on the truck, especially when you're sharing the space, the truck is not that big, so you have to keep your stuff small. So you can't have a lot of things, especially because I'm coming on the truck with my trainer. He has his own things, and I don't want to be intrusive to what he has going on or stuff like that. So I always had to make sure like my stuff is clean and put up because the truck moves, stuff falls. I had to learn the hard way about that because my stuff just kept falling off where I had it all set up at. But make sure you shower every day. My trainer is really good about that. We shower about every other day. I don't even want to say every other day, probably like every other shift. But it's very frequent. It's frequent. Use your deals. If you most of the time you'll be fueling up at places like Love's, Flying J, and TA's. Grab those gift cards and stuff, or point cards. That stuff adds up, and that's how you get your shower tokens and stuff like that. Other than that, you have to pay like $15 for an actual shower. It's pretty expensive. So if you have like those deals and things, use them. It all adds up. But overall, man, like this decision has been hard. Like nothing that you work for is ever going to be that easy. But I think at the end, I never saw myself like this. I never saw myself like, hey, I want to be a truck driver. And part of me is like, I probably should have looked into this a lot sooner. But then again, things happen for a reason. It's definitely an endeavor that if you want to do it, I definitely say it's worth exploring, but only if you are really ready. Like it's not something that I don't think you can be half in and half out on because there is a lot at stake. Like you have your life, you have the life of your trainer, you have the life of everybody else on the road with you. You're away from your family, so you have a lot to think about. It's very hard to be away, but like the things that the financial freedom for it, like I'm able to provide for my family a lot better than I have been, thanks to God, for giving me the knowledge to pass the test and everything I needed to. It does feel good to have that ability to say, hey, we can go to the store, we can get it. We ain't got to worry about pinch because everything's already taken care of. So the financial freedom is amazing, and it opens up opportunities elsewhere. Like right now, I'm doing what's called OTR, over the road. So that means like I'll be gone unless I specifically request to come home. After I do like a set amount of years, maybe 2 years, get 2 years experience, I can switch over to doing something local. But the pay is way more than what I've ever made in life. So that's a plus too, which helps that I have my good support system too, which also spurs me forward. But yeah, honestly, it hasn't been. It's been a hard experience, but I definitely don't regret it. I thank God for keeping me and my family through everything. Overall, man, it's it's been crazy. And again, this is coming from a guy that has no experience whatsoever. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me. I have a Gmail. It's prowcision@gmail.com. Again, all these links will be on YouTube and stuff, and I might post this to Facebook and all this stuff on Anchor or whatever. So if I have any questions, man, I have no problem answering it. Again, I'm a casual person, so again, the information you'll get is pretty genuine. I'm not sponsored by Prime or nothing like that. I'm barely a Prime employee. I just got to my TNT phase. Oh, speaking of that, for your TNT phase, you're able to upgrade after you drive for 30,000 miles. Then you have the option to do leasing or company. There's plenty of other videos that explain that in depth. I don't think I can because again I don't have enough information. But for me, I'm thinking I'm wanting to go lease. just because of, again, the financial freedom and the ability to plan. Company, you pretty much go where they tell you to, and you are a part of a team. There's differences, like there's major differences, like there's beneficial differences to being company, like as far as like you get better benefits, different deals like that. But with leasing, for me, I just would enjoy the freedom and the making of more money. You will make more money doing leasing. Uh, I don't know like the exact dollar amounts and stuff like that, but I'm definitely aiming more to, ooh, excuse me, more towards leasing. Uh, I think that's all I got, man. I don't want this thing to be too long, but it has been a while, so I just want to check in. Like, I'm doing well. The dad group on Facebook is doing well. So if there's any fathers um, that are struggling with, depression when it comes to kids, helping out with their kids, or just life in general, go to facebook.com and type in DAD with dots, and it's Dads Against Depression. That's the Facebook group I have where we've been kind of working through some stuff. They've helped me a whole lot because I've definitely been depressed out on this road. Uh, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get back to. Again, it's probably going to be sporadic because again, I'm going to be driving, team driving, so I don't get a chance to sit down, have like a lot of quiet moments and stuff like that. But I don't know when I'm gonna be consistent. Once I get my own, or I don't my own, and able to do my own thing and schedules and stuff, I can probably kick it back up. But for now, I mean, I'm just checking in. I'm thankful for the guys, everybody else that's been sticking through, helping me out throughout this whole journey. So until next time, hopefully next time you hear from me, I will have my own truck. Yeah. So good evening. Thank y'all for listening to this. This will be up soon, hopefully, if I remember to, which I probably won't. All right, y'all. Till next time, it's Mr. Literal. Peace out.